John 1, 1 through 3. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. What? Have you ever read stuff in the Bible and just been like, what? Sometimes stuff in the Bible that God says can sound a little crazy, but we're ready to blast off on a high-speed journey to discover and understand what he said. So buckle up and get ready, because Jesus' sayings are out of this world.
Matthew 7, 13 through 14. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Jesus said, what? He wants us to go through this gate? In this story, Jesus is talking about two gates. But first, what is a gate? A gate is usually a part of a fence, and it's like a door in the fence that leads you somewhere. Gates let us go through the fence. So Jesus talks about two gates. Imagine it. One is big, beautiful, obvious, and it's easy to find. The other is small, not as pretty, and it's kind of hard to find. If it were up to you, which one would you pick? Most of us would naturally pick the pretty, big, easy one, but Jesus tells us where they both go. The small, ugly one leads to life, and the big, pretty one leads to destruction. Jesus is using this example of gates, but he really is talking about our lives. It's like this. Have you ever been asked to clean your room, and instead of putting everything where it goes, you decide to shove it in your closet or under your bed? Your room looks clean, for a little while at least, but what happens when you run out of space in your closet? Or you can't find your favorite t-shirt? The easy option seems like the best option at first, but after a little while, you're left with a bigger mess than you started with. Sometimes the easy thing isn't always the best thing. Sometimes the easy thing actually leads to a really big mess. Sometimes doing what is right is actually really hard, and sometimes obeying what Jesus says feels like picking the ugly narrow gate. But the ugly narrow gate is the one that leads to life. Jesus says that he is the narrow gate, and when we choose to follow him, we are choosing to enter through the narrow gate. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one gets to the Father except through him. Heaven is a real place, and no one gets there except through Jesus. Gates get you somewhere, and in this case, when we choose Jesus, he gets us to the Father. When we choose Jesus, he gets us to life. Even though sometimes it seems like the big gate is better, it's actually not, and it's not safe. Following Jesus isn't always easy, but it is better and safer. Following Jesus is the best decision you will ever make, because he really is the best way. If there was just one thing from today that you could remember, I would want it to be this. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Can you say that with me? Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. This week, when you might want to take the easy way, the big gate, choose to do what's right instead. Choose the narrow gate. And if it's feeling hard to choose to do what's right, use your powerful words to say the big idea in scripture from today out loud to remind yourself. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. It's true and it's powerful for you.